Have you ever noticed how rarely individuals have pathological or dogmatic views that are ideological in nature? And yet, for some reason, it seems as though the herd or the society at large, you could say, they're just a bunch of noisy ideology schemers. And they're just people that are replicating ideas that are not congruent with their souls. And they don't really believe a lot of the times that they have souls. I mean, we have people that claim to be religious or Christian or any kind of whatever, and yet they don't really believe in souls. And it's so very difficult for me to comprehend this, because even when I was a agnostic slash atheist, I still believed in a soul, and I didn't know why. I didn't know why this was. And now I understand that it was always God leading me toward the place in which He's prepared for me. And I always had the angels looking out for me as well, but it was also that I genuinely wanted to seek the truth. And I was always a truth seeker. And I never let my opinion about the truth cause me to go into a disarray and dismay me from what was actually true. You see, a lot of the times people will take offense to the truth. And you might not even try to be offensive about this. You might not even try to do anything in particular to upset them. But because you are standing on business and standing in the truth and in spirit, people are not going to necessarily like that all the time. I have people that have been watching my videos for a year or two now, and I've got messages recently where people that have been watching my videos for a while, all of a sudden I say one thing in particular that they don't agree with, and everything about me is now gone to hell, according to them. And you know, it is what it is, but the thing is do you really want somebody that agrees with you all the time? Do you really want somebody that doesn't challenge you all the time? Now, I'm not saying that, you know, being like-minded is a wrong thing or is not a good thing, but holy moly, do you want to agree with everybody all the time? You know, this is just, to me, a sign that I actually have an independent mind, and that people don't want to believe that there are people that are not going to fit their mold all the time. And that's what's so astounding. And this is why I wanted to make a video on why you're God tier. Okay, don't let these people that are having no idea about what you've been through or what you're going through tell you how to live your life or how you should think, simply because, well, it's their opinion against yours. And they think that that's going to be the way that things operate, but that's just not the way the world works. And the reason that there are so many idiots in this world, and I don't want to be rude about this, but this is the case. There are a bunch of idiots and morons. The way that I categorize idiots and morons are, idiots try to get to things super quickly, whether it's places or ideas or people. They want to make judgments super quickly. And then the morons are just the ones that are kind of lost in la la land, and they're just kind of super slow about things. So then you have those kinds of people that are critiquing the God tier level intellect. And it's not necessarily that you're putting yourself on a pedestal or anything like that, because in the Bible, in Psalms, it says that the children of the Most High are God, or ye are gods and children of the Most High. And so this is where I got the inspiration to do this video from. It's not out of vanity. It's not out of anything like that. And I don't want to encourage anybody to puff themselves up with this kind of knowledge, because sometimes knowledge has a way of demoralizing you if you don't know how to use that knowledge. And that's got to be something that you have to look out for, and that you have to have your own discernment with, and that you have to take up with God Himself. So you've got to be very careful with knowledge and also wisdom. Carl Jung, a psychoanalyst, once said that you are to be careful of wisdom that you did not earn. And I think that's a brilliant statement, and I think that that's really something to think about, because these people that claim that they have wisdom and they have power over you, and you look at the outcomes of their life and you think to yourself, I'm not quite sure what gives you the ability to tell me how I should be living when you're not even, number one, practicing what you're preaching. That's the other thing. I don't mind if people disagree or have a different opinion with me, but to just not even practice what they're preaching is another thing that, in of itself, I don't have respect for those kinds of people. I just don't, because I know what it takes to be somebody of your word, and to have stature in your word, and to have weight in your word. Because when the weight of your words match the weight of your actions, there's going to be this gravitational pull almost. I don't necessarily like to use the word gravitational. It's more about a density. There's more of like a denseness in your aura. And it's not about you being dense and obtuse necessarily. It's more about this concentrated essence of power that takes place. And so many times these people that are going to want to be immature, and they're going to try to blind you from the truth because of their immaturity. Don't let these people shackle your mind. Okay, don't let these people shackle your spirit. These kinds of people, they just want to see you fail. That's what it is. And they'll switch up. Not all of them, but a lot of them will switch up. When you start to do a little too good, you're going a little bit too further down the line than they want to see you go. You're starting to, it's like the distance is starting to really shift, because you're somebody that is putting time and effort into their craft every single day. They're putting maybe 20% of what you're doing. So in reality, it looks like this. Okay, so they're still moving forward, but you're moving quicker because you're putting more time and effort into actually trying to perfect your craft, or actually just having faith. And it's not that your works are going to justify anything, but without faith, without works, faith is dead, as the Bible also says. So we have to recognize that everything in this life is spiritual. It doesn't matter how small or how big. Some people might think that looking at certain things as spiritual is going to be a waste of time, and there obviously is going to be a time and a place to look at the practicalities of life, but even so, the practicalities of life are spiritual. And so if you don't have your own place organized, for example, this is one of the reasons why I think just keeping yourself and taking care of yourself, understanding that if you can't take care of yourself, there's no way in hell that you're going to be able to take care of anybody else in this life. Because what I see so many people think that they can do is that they can bless others while they're cursing themselves, or they can bless others while they're not paying attention to what their own things going on internally are contributing to this the situation that they're in. It's like, how silly can you possibly be? How can you possibly think that you can bless other people while you don't even want to accept the blessings that God is giving to you? You can't bless other people, and because a lot of the times these kinds of people are codependent, or they're just narcissistic. And it's more that for the godly people, it's more so that I've seen truly godly people have to go through a refinement through the codependent attachment style process. They have to refine through that because they're so used to being able to help other people that they don't know how to help themselves. And I know what that's like. I really do, because that was me. I'm not just saying this. I'm not just speaking this just to speak about it. I'm actually saying that this is really important to talk about. And this is something that many people don't want to accept. Okay. And you've got to look at what's actually worth paying attention to. What are you actually investing your time into? Don't even think about spending your time. Okay, don't even think about spending your time or your money or your investments or whatever it is, that your resources. Don't think about spending that. How are you going to invest it? Okay, think about how you can invest your time and allocate your resources to ensure that there's going to be a ROI, or a return on investment, on everything that you do. Because in this life, what's most important is that you invest your time and your faith into God, number one, but number two, anything that can help you grow closer to Him. And this is what a lot of people that are NPCs and that are bots don't want to accept, or the people that are even on the narrow path and they're getting to a point. It's kind of like, it reminds me of, there's some certain people in the Bible that got super close to really following Jesus, for example, but then they couldn't quite make that extra step. They couldn't quite make the full commitment to Him. And because there's a cost with that commitment, and there's a cost with being God tier. There is a cost being God tier in this life. And a lot of people they'll puff themselves up and they'll think to themselves, oh yeah, I am this God tier level person. And it's like, they're not even doing anything about it though. They're just existing. And it's like, you can't do that in this life. That's not what God has put us to do. Like, God has called us to work. And it's not necessarily, again, that your work is going to justify your salvation or your faith or anything like that, but it's that you need to actually do something with your life and with your gifts. God is not going to give you a gift just to keep it for yourself all the time. Oftentimes, the gifts that you get from God, at least in my experience, the gifts that I've always gotten from God are always gifts that I need to learn how to give away myself. Because when I have the meaning of life fully manifested every single moment of my life from here on out, whenever there's a moment that is saturated with meaning, it's almost always because I've learned how to give a gift that God has given me to somebody else. Always. I can't think, actually, now that I'm really thinking about it, I can't think about any certain instance in which that wasn't the case. So, yes, you are God tier, and you are somebody that needs to take the gifts that God has given you and use them for good. Okay, and I could use my gifts for evil. Oh my gosh. Like, as far as marketing goes, if I really wanted to swindle people out of money, oh man, I totally know how to do that. I would do something exactly like Andrew Tate did. Okay, if I really wanted to make money, and if I really wanted to swindle people, and I really just cared about money, you know what I would do? I would make an AI that is a female, and I would pretend like that female is real. Or it doesn't even matter if she was real or not, actually, because men, a lot of these cucks, they're idiots or they're morons, most of them. And I don't like saying that, but that's just the way that it is. And so some of the idiots will just be like, oh yeah, like, whatever I can do to get one off. And then you'll have the morons who are kind of slow to get into this kind of stuff, but they'll do it. And they'll stay stuck in there longer than the idiots will, that's for sure. Because at least the people that are idiots, they're trying to move stuff and move themselves fast to one place or the next. Morons just take their time. They take their time wasting their life, letting their life go by. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't plan to do that. And I hope you don't plan to do that. But I can't stop you either way. Here on this channel, the people that are fully invested and understand what we're actually trying to do here and accomplish and revolutionize psychology and spirituality, they're going to stick around. They're the ones that are winning. We're going to keep winning. If you want to do what you want to do, that's fine, but we're going to keep winning here. We don't plan to stop. We don't plan to just sit idly by and let life take us away, because well, we don't have the power to do this, and oh, well, we can't do that because of this, and we can't do this because of that. Excuses are freaking excuses are freaking excuses, man. I'm so tired of living in a world where people that are making excuses are always getting the upper hand in the worldliness of life. But that's just the way the life is. I mean, I'm tired of it, and sometimes I pray like, God, come on, let's go, let's get out of here. But you know what? Like, this is part of the fight. This is part of the life that we're living, and this is part of the way that we need to live. So as long as we are here on earth, we just kind of have to make do with it and trust that when we get to the other side of whatever this life is, I don't like saying this side of the grave because Jesus is the resurrection and the life. So if you believe in him, whoever believes in him will have everlasting life, which means there really is no such thing as the grave. It's just part of that worldly illusion, right? Of course, the body is going to die and decay, but that doesn't necessarily mean that our spirits go away or our souls go away. But we're going to keep winning, and that's just the way that it is. And so if you want to join a community that is winning and that is striving to grow ever closer to the Most High God, check out the Regal Change Academy. You know, we've got the free Discord channel available for you, as well as the paid community. In the paid community, we have a bunch of different classes and resources available for you that are building blocks. They're not the end all be all, okay? It's not the end all be all, but they're basic building blocks to help you forever on this path. You'll be able to take what you learn from these resources and classes and calls, weekly calls. You'll take this forever, wherever you go, because we're studying that which is everlasting in this academy. We're not just talking about material things or anything. Of course, we understand that we live in the three-dimensional world and we have to have material resources to one degree or another, but it's not the main focus. We're doing a Legends of Stoicism class series coming up. This Saturday is our first day. We're going to do an 8-week class series where we're going to read Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, and different works from each of them. We're also going to be doing more class series down the line. These are going to be more like month or two class series every now and again that we have available. So this is going to be a limited resource for you. But then we also have other classes that are forever lasting in the Regal Change Academy. And those are going to be like the Dream Interpretation or the Nexus Attraction Workshop or meditation, entrepreneurship, AI optimization, etc. So you can do those on your own time. We also have weekly calls for Bible study, the Regal Assembly Call, and now we have a new Maps of the Psyche class series. Well, technically it's not a class series because those class series are just the resources that are available for a limited time, but the class, that's going to be a class that's additional to every single week that we're going to be operating, and it'll be different every single week, but it always is going to come back to psychology and spirituality and philosophy. In the free Discord, however, we have a ebook available for you, as well as free meditation guides, fitness guides, and healing guides available too. I do appreciate everybody moving from the YouTube platform over to X, Rumble, Instagram, and Facebook, and all those other platforms that I've got. Obviously, YouTube is my main focus. I'm not particularly as active on either Instagram or Facebook, but I am active on Instagram enough to like respond to DMs and such. I get some DMs every now and again. And then I'm also very active on X. So X is going to be definitely the place to go if you're not on YouTube and you want to increase the amount of support that you're able to give to this channel. That's going to be the place to go. I appreciate all of the members of this channel, and I also appreciate everybody that's tuning in and staying around for these messages. Peace be with you all. Till next time.